Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفاه وبعد. Praise be to Allah alone. We all praise Him and we seek His help. Whomsoever Allah guides is a truly guided one, and whomsoever Allah leaves astray, none can show him guidance. I bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship but Allah alone, and I bear witness that Muhammad, peace be upon him, is His last messenger. Brothers and sisters, welcome again to another live edition of your program, Ask Huda. Our phone numbers beginning with area code are 002-011-2500-8679. Alternatively, area code 002, then 0100-246-4583. Without any further ado, I shall begin by answering some of the pending questions that I received on the Facebook page, which is Dr. Muhammad Salah Official, while waiting for your valuable calls and concerns. The first question is from Mitchell Burns. Mitchell says, if I do read Quran in Arabic, since I know a few surahs by memory, do I have to wash and wear hijab? Sister Mitchell, whenever you recite the Quran by heart, it is not required to have wudu, nor is it required to wear hijab, whether you recite the Quran by heart or whether you recite it from the Mus'haf. But it is also recommended to have tahara and wudu upon doing any act of worship, including the recitation of the Quran by heart. We said, according to the more right view, that touch on the Quran, flipping the pages of the Quran requires tahara. So it will be best to perform wudu upon reciting the Quran if you're reading from the Mus'haf. But is it permissible if I'm driving, if I'm waiting in the line, if I'm in the bus or any means of transportations, to recite the surahs which I know by heart without wudu? Yes. Some people at time of sleep, they feel very lazy to get up to perform wudu before going to sleep, even though it's a sunnah. But it's a sunnah, it is not mandatory. So they say, well, since I don't have wudu, I won't be able to recite the adhkar as well. No. Do not leave it entirely. You still can recite the adhkar, you can recite Surah Al-Mulk, you can recite Ayat Al-Kursi, the last couple ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah, Al-Mu'awwidhat, Al-Ikhlas, Al-Falaq, and An-Nas by heart without having wudu. Barakallahu fiki. With regards to wearing the hijab upon reciting the Quran, it is not required whatsoever. Her second question is it okay to clean at night in late hours? I heard that it is not permissible. I do not have any reference, nor do I know of any hukm that says that it is not permissible to sweep the floor or clean up at night, as far as a prohibition. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, but I'm not familiar with any prohibition in this regard. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our first caller tonight, Sister Nadia from the KSA. Welcome to Ask Huda.
Hello, assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have two questions.
Yeah.
My first question is, my husband and I both are earning, but our salaries are not that much high. But long time back, 10 or 11 years back, we have bought one land in Pakistan, and we took the loan from my father and from one of my husband's friend, and we gave it back in 3-4 years, and alhamdulillah. Now the problem is that we cannot reach to the limit. We want to build the house, but we cannot reach to the limit of that. We don't have that many money. So we were planning to buy another land, not land, yes, you can say another land, but it is very cheap nowadays. But still we don't have money that much. So I asked my brothers, they are in Canada and America, to give me the loan, and they were agreed happily. And we have 50% of money for us from our own, and 50% I'm taking the loan. And I told them that inshallah I'll return you in one brother in 1 year and the other brother in the second year. And then they were agreed. But after that, when my father heard about this, he told me that this is a non-Islamic way to take qarz hasana, like because it is without interest. So this is not Islamic, and you should not invest the money on the other people's money. If you have money, you have to buy. If you don't have money, it's not good to take the loan. So I want to ask about this, that is it not permissible or it is not recommended?
Okay.
What is the issue about, what is the ruling about this?
طيب.
And my second question is, in Pakistan there is one bank and they have this scheme. If you put the money in the bank, they don't give you the fixed amount, fixed percentage, but they tell you that this is the Islamic bank. I don't know whether you know it or not. The name of the bank is Mizan Bank. So they said that they don't give you the exact percentage, fixed percentage, but it will go up and down, like 7%, 8%, sometimes 9, sometimes 10, sometimes 11. It goes up and down. There is no fix. And they said that this is Islamic bank and they have the fatwas from the ulama. But I don't feel it easy. I still have confusion that how every time they give only profit. But if they told that they will give the loss also, but up and down, my father has the account there, but up to now they have never given the loss, only the profit is there. But the profit rate is not fixed. It is going up and down. So is it permissible or it is in interest?
Okay.
Thank you very much, Sheikh.
Thank you, Sister Nadia. Barakallah fiki. Is it permissible to borrow because you want to buy a flat, you want to buy a car, you want to buy a property, and you have some of the money or most of the money, and you're willing to pay the loan on time, and you have a fixed salary, and you can pay on time, and the person who is willing to lend you does not mind and is not going to take an interest on that? Yes, it is permissible. But let me give you a better alternative. So number one, it is permissible. As long as the loan is, as you said, it is a goodly loan, is not accompanied with interest. But better than that, so that your brother or whoever you're taking a loan from him does not feel that you're taking advantage of him or her, that you and him invest in this property. You said you have 50% of the property. If he comes up with the 50%, then you are partners. Then 3-4 years later, either you both sell the property and each one gets a similar share based on your shares of the investment. You get a share of the profit or the loss. Or either one of you would buy the share of the other. Like for instance, you want to take the land. You can simply in a couple of years say, okay, what is the current value of the property? If there is an increase, 3%, 4%, so you buy the whole thing, you buy your brother's share or the lender's share, and you give him a profit, 100% halal profit. That's called murabaha. That is permissible. That can take us to answer your second question with regards to whatever bank they call themselves Islamic banks. What makes a loan halal and lawful? Is it haram simply because I say you're going to pay 6%, there is a fixed interest, you're going to pay that much extra? This is not the only factor which makes it riba. If we agree that you have to give me an increase, anything, any amount, that's riba. Because the fiqh rule in this regard says, كل قرض جر نفعا فهو riba. Even if it is not of the same sort of investment, of cash, could be something else. But we do not agree to a profit. If it is a loan, we do not agree to any increase. What if it is murabaha, as I mentioned earlier, that you want to do business with the bank, murabaha. Al-murabaha entails that both partners, or if it is more, like the bank is one partner, and all the investors, you and hundreds and thousands others are partners. The bank takes your money and invests in projects. those projects, number one, have to be lawful projects. What if somebody came to the bank and said, I'm interested in building a nightclub, a dancing hall? Is it halal? No, that is not halal. But the bank, the conventional banks, do not look at it from this perspective. They look at it whether the person who is asking for a loan has a good credit or not, and his business is promising or not. It doesn't matter whether it's halal or haram. So in the case of the Islamic banking, when they have a Sharia committee, it decides what kind of investment that they are allowed to invest in and what kind of business they are not allowed to go in. So this is another reason. Then, if the bank, who is your representative, takes your shares, your investment, and they invest in buying properties, they decide to give a share of the profit. It is okay to determine beforehand, because this is murabaha, this is not loan, that you put 100,000, you will get of the profit in proportion with your investment, provided if the profit increases, the percentage increases. And if there is no profit, you get nothing. What if we lose? You get a share of the loss similar to the share of the profit. I hope this is clear. Now, this is called fair investment. It's not only one party that is liable, because in the case of the conventional bank, in most cases, they do not actually do business because they take your money and they lend it to somebody else. That is not the murabaha. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Hussein from the USA, Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Ask Huda.
Thank you, Dr. Salam. How are you?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking. How about yourself, Brother Hussein?
So I have two questions. The first question involves bidah. So I was wondering if someone were to pray extra prayers, like nafil prayers regularly after every Fard prayer, in addition to the sunnah, would that count as a bidah and something that should be avoided? And if so, how should one pray extra nafil regularly without involving that area? And my second question is if you had any information on the Islamic ruling on receiving kidney transplant.
On what?
And I just wanted to
Hussein.
bless you and your mother, and hope I wish the best and Allah grant her good health.
Jazakallah khair. Brother Hussein, you said Islamic ruling concerning what?
Oh, Islamic ruling regarding kidney transplant.
Kidney transplant. Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abu Zahra from the KSA, welcome to Ask Huda. Assalamu alaikum.
Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sheikh?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
How is your mother and how is your family?
Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah and through the blessings of your dua, all of you, alhamdulillah, we're doing great.
Alhamdulillah.
Jazakallahu khairan, ya Rab. May Allah bless you.
Allah barak. Thank you very much. Yes, Sheikh, I have a question that I will be traveling to a far off place, a couple of 2,000 miles, and I will be
Brother Abu Zahra, unfortunately, I cannot hear you. Abu Zahra.
Everything is ready, washing, everything taken care of. So should I read the complete salah or should I read it combined, like in traveling?
Brother Abu Zahra, what happened is that we lost you throughout the question. We just heard the last statement. If you can repeat the question again, because we lost you. Abu Zahra. طيب, the brothers in the control, I will appreciate if you can collect his question, please. Sister Hussam from Bahrain.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, Sheikh?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Sister Hussam.
Okay. I have two questions. My first question is it permissible for a woman to cut her hair? Because I heard it is not permissible. And the second one is, can we keep our hair open in the parties where only women are present?
Okay.
And my second question is it allowed for a woman to wear sleeveless and short dresses in front of another woman in the parties, as in the Arab weddings they wear?
Okay.
Is it permissible?
Yes.
That's it, Sheikh. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Okay, thank you, Sister Hussein from Bahrain. Barakallahu fiki. Brother Hussein from the USA. Praying extra nawafil. That's called مطلق النفل. يعني after I prayed the sunnah after dhuhr, there is plenty of time until asr. I like to pray 2, 4, 6, 8, as much as I want. Is it permissible? Yes, it is permissible. Can I pray after sunrise as many rak'ahs as I want? Yes, you want to pray مطلق النفل. Fine. Between Maghrib and Isha, I want to spend this whole time in the masjid and pray general nawafil. Yes, you may pray, but pray 2 by 2. Because al-witr is only to seal up the night prayer. Similarly, for the tahajjud, you want to pray as many rak'ahs as you want, 2 by 2, and you end up with witr, no problem. So mutlaq al-nafl, there is no restriction. As you all know that what is restricted in the general nawafil, there are 3 times that you are not allowed to offer any nawafil during those 3 times. After the Fajr prayer until past sunrise, 15 minutes past sunrise. And approximately 20 minutes before the adhan of dhuhr, until dhuhr. And after the Asr prayer until the Maghrib prayer. These are disliked times to offer any prayer. We explained before why, and we mentioned the hadith. You wanted to know the ruling on the kidney transplant. Ruling on kidney transplantation is permissible, provided it is mere gift or donation, and it is not a business nor trade. If there is business or compensation involved, then this is haram. Why is it haram? Because you're only allowed to sell what you own. You do not own any of your body parts. This is a property of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You asked a specific question about the kidney because there are 2 units, 2 kidneys. So the doctors say that it is okay, you can live with one and you're compatible with the other person and it will save his life. That's a sadaqah. There's a reward in that. And I've known people, alhamdulillah, survived through that, provided there is no compensation. After the operation and everything, the recipient decided to reward the donor or his family or help them, no problem. That is accepted. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Muhammad from Gambia. Muhammad.
Assalamu
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
My first question is, if I change the hair and it makes it longer, so is that allowed for a woman to do?
Ya Akhi Muhammad from Gambia, unfortunately I didn't hear the question. You're breaking off. Can you repeat your question, please?
My question is a woman allowed to straighten the hair, that is
To? I will appreciate if the brothers can collect Muhammad's question from Gambia. Thank you. Jazakumullahu khairan. Sister Asma from Somalia. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah.
Okay, go ahead, Sister Asma. Make sure that your TV is muted, please.
I'd like to ask a question about piercing. Is it haram to pierce like your face?
Yeah, Asma.
Is it haram?
Is it haram to do what?
Pierce.
To?
Pierce your body.
Well, I'm not really clear with the question. I do apologize. You're breaking off. I cannot understand the question. I hope this is not a problem on our line. If you can collect the question, brothers, I will appreciate that. So we have 3 questions now. Muhammad from Gambia, Asma from Somalia, and Abu Zahra from the KSA. Oh, okay. Sister Hussam from Bahrain. Haircut for women. It is permissible, provided that it is not as short as a man's hair. So she would not look like a man, like a male. Because Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam لعن المترجلة من النساء. He cursed a woman who dresses like a man, acts like a man, and cuts her hair like a man. Okay? But the scholars say that up to the shoulders is called al-wafra. That is permissible. Okay? Some women have long hair, thick hair, and it is causing them trouble. They don't have time to keep taking care of their hair into braids and so on. So they cut their hair. That is permissible. And also Sister Hussein from Bahrain inquired about women attending women weddings parties only for women, and taking off their hijab and showing their hair, spreading their hair before women. Is it permissible? If you ask me what is the awrah of a woman before another woman, that will be an easier question. Because yes, you can show your hair, you can show your neck. A woman can breastfeed before another woman, okay? And your shins, because it's up to the knees, you know. The awrah is up to the knees. So wearing short dresses, wearing short sleeves or sleeveless dresses, that is permissible. But the thing is, I advise my wife to be very careful when attending such parties. Why? If we have a couple hundred guests, how do I know that every one of them is such an honest woman who would not be recording on her phone, for instance, you know, or on any device and taking pictures? You know, this is very problematic. So simply to block the means of evil, you gotta be careful. But you're throwing a party at home, and everyone whom you know that you're sure that no one is filming, no one is recording, this is the awrah of a woman before another woman. So you can take off your hijab, you can sit with the short sleeves, you can sit with the short dresses up to the knees, no problem. Barakallah fik. You can wear a full makeup. I hope the brothers were able to collect the questions. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Farial Khan, please try again, inshallah. Sister Farial Khan says in her question, what does Islam say about wives' rights? If a husband lives abroad and he is able to keep his wife with him, what Islam says about this? Well, and she's also saying that she's been married for 4 years, and throughout the 4 years she only spent 3 months, like once a year she spent a few weeks with the husband, even though he is capable to accompany her with him into his working country or locality. He must do that. We like to educate ourselves and understand that the need is not only the man's need, it's also the woman's need. And that's why when Umar ibn al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, happened to hear a woman talking to herself, phrasing a poetry, complaining how much she is missing her husband and how much she's afraid that of falling into the fitna and fahisha because of the absence of her husband, he rushed to Hafsa, may Allah be pleased with her, his daughter, and who was the Prophet's wife. And he asked her, for how long can a woman be patient for her husband's absence? And when she said between 4 to 6 months maximum, then Umar ibn al-Khattab passed an amendment that all the soldiers, all the Muslim who would join the army should not stay more than 6 months. So 4 months on the battlefield or camping here and there, and allow 1 month travel back and forth, but should not be deployed beyond 6 months because they have to go back to their families. We all studied that, we all heard about that, and we know how Umar al-Khattab was a just ruler. And from this pulpit, I am asking those who are in charge to be merciful. If you happen to be in a position of controlling employees, a sponsor for instance, a minister of workers for instance, facilitate the process for the workers to bring and collect their wives and their children in order to maintain the chastity of the entire community, those who are working for you and the wives who are staying behind without husband, and their children who are being raised for 10 and 20 years without the presence of the husband, because the husband is working day and night to put bread on the table to break even. We're supposed to be merciful towards each other. And the husband who have an access to collect his wife and his kids and live with him, he should do so. Not because he's patient and he does not have an interest in a sexual relationship, he neglects his wife, that is her right upon him, and his kids' rights upon him. Allah the Almighty says in Surah Al-Baqarah, in one ayah, one of the most eloquent ayat with regards to comprising all the rights of the wives and the husbands, the spouses, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. For them, for the wives, there are rights similar to that which are due upon them on the basis of kindness. There are rights and duties. It is not only you who have rights, but the wife too have rights. Among her rights is to live with the husband. Barakallahu feekum. We'll take a short break and we'll be back inshallah in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. Welcome to another live edition of Huda Tonight. This program provides some of the latest news and information from around the Muslim world and also discussions about topics that are important for Muslim life.
Brothers and sisters, the Islamic perspective on divorce. It's an outlet which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made halal for any relationship that has gone sour or an abusive relationship. But this principle of divorce has its rules and has its procedures.
For our first news item for the news segment tonight, we're going to go to the United States, the state of Kansas, the Muslim community there in the United States, the state of Kansas. The city is Kansas City.
Talk is communication. In order to communicate, you have to make sure that exactly you tell or you told the other or the partner the real thing about yourself.
Tonight we're going to talk about, inshallah, Abdullah ibn Abbas. And what I wanted to start off with, we all know that he was very young when the Prophet ﷺ passed away. So let's start from the beginning, from his youth.
Time is very important and precious. Many of us in our youth and the Muslim Ummah doesn't know the value of time. And even if we think we know, sometimes we face difficulty and challenges understanding and managing your schedule on a daily basis.
TV commercials motivate viewers into immediate action and to sway consumer loyalty from one brand or service to the other. That's why we're here for you, to help you sell your products and services by using creative ideas that bring life into your own TV commercial. Advertise your business and branded products and services on Huda TV. We will offer you fast-paced and energetic 30-second affordable TV spots. Advertise on Huda TV, acquire fresh customers and stay within your budget. For more info or to receive a quote, please send your inquiries to advert@Huda TV. Huda TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. I guess we were able to collect Brother Muhammad's question. Muhammad from Gambia, he asked about using chemicals to change the color of the hair and to spread the hair. If it is safe, then it is permissible. It is permissible to dye your hair as long as you avoid the black. If it is gray, you avoid the black color. The Prophet ﷺ said, غَيِّرُوا هَذَا الشَّيْبِ And it means change the gray color of the hair, but avoid as-sawad, the black color, because it is deceiving. You know, if you are a man who is getting old and mashallah, all your hair turn gray, do not dye it with black. Rather, dye it with henna, okay? It gives the henna color, brownish color, whatever. And the second condition, that you're not wearing those dyes which are crazy, following fashions. Nowadays you say some crazy colors like rainbow colors over the hair. This is not the attitude of a Muslim. How do you stand before Allah in the prayer wearing those different colors because you're imitating a singer or a dancer or whoever? Barakallahu fikum. Azaz Zaman. Azaz says, I want to give someone zakah money. Do I need to tell him or her that this is zakah money, or I simply give the money? Is it mandatory to mention that this is a zakah money? No, it is not mandatory, nor even it is recommended. You know, you have to understand that whenever you give the poor, you have to be very sensitive, because there are some poor people who are they're very sensitive. When you tell them that this is zakah, they will refuse, even though they are desperately in need. Why? Because they don't want anyone to know their desperate condition. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drove you to know about the needs of this and that person. Like, for instance, your own brother, your own sister. She's broke, she's poor, and her kids likewise, your nephews and nieces. How would you go and tell your nephew, hey, take this as zakah from me? It's like you're telling him that you're poor, you're eligible for zakah, you're miskin, and I'm rich and here. I would rather take it as a gift. Okay? I take advantage that his son just passed the exam, or sometimes what I do is I go and I visit the family. Whenever the little boy or the little girl would come to say salam or bring some, treat, I say, how much you do know of the Quran? You know Surah Al-Humazah? Can you recite it, mashallah? If you recite Surah Al-Humazah, I'll give you $200. MashaAllah, you did very well. Here. And you give her an envelope. The envelope is going to the whole family. This is a nice way. I know that you can develop many ways of giving your sadaqat or your mandatory zakah without hurting the feeling of the recipient. Today I heard about a very interesting story about a merchant, a multi-millionaire, and in the KSA, and he used to distribute the zakah by himself. Subhanallah, on the way to distribute zakah, he took a nap, and he saw in a night vision that a call saying, Abdi, my servant, go to such and such area, you will find such and such person. And he saw the person in his dream. Go and give him money enough for 1 year. This servant of mine have not tasted the food for 3 days. He only drinks water. He have nothing to eat for 3 days. And that was in Ramadan. As you know that most of Muslims prefer to pay zakah in Ramadan. He said he got up and he realized that this is like a call, a divine call. He saw that in a dream. So he went to this village, and when he reached there, as usual, he began by attending the prayer. There was Salatul Jama'ah. When he entered and he attended the prayer, he saw the Imam who was leading the prayer, that is the same person whom he saw in a dream, in his night vision. After the Salah, he waited. Everybody was dismissed because it was already Maghrib. Everybody ran to break their fast, and the Imam, the man whom he saw in a night vision, that a call is asking him to give him the fund for a whole year, because he's been starving, he did not have any food for 3 days. He breaks his fast on water. So while the Imam was leaving, he saw this man sitting. He said, Assalamu alaikum, you look like from out of town. He said, yes. He said, well, then it is our duty to honor you. Come and have breakfast with me. Okay. So he happily accepted the invitation. He took him home and he brought him water to break his fast. And that's it. He said, water? He said, Wallahi, I have nothing but water. And this is my 4th day. Nothing but water. So he took a huge amount of money. He was very rich. Not just the fund of a whole year, plenty of years. And he said, this is a gift for you. This imam, who's extremely poor, whom Allah directed the millionaire to go to give him sadaqah, he said, Ya hada la taftinni. Do not try me. I have nothing to do with the dunya. So the rich man said, Wallahi, after a long time of insisting and begging him to take, he only took 1,000 riyal. 1,000 riyal. We all know that. Sometimes we go have dinner and we pay 1,000 riyal, 1,500 riyal, and so on. And he was very happy with that. Imagine the iffah of some of the poor. Do not break their hearts by saying that this is zakah. Jazakum Allah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Abu Abdullah, assalamu alaikum.
How are you, Sheikh?
Go ahead.
Yes, my question is that, well, for myself, I'm complaining about myself because I'm not doing well these days in my Russian things, and my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not, not that good these days. So I want you to make dua for me or supplicate for me because these days, and I want the viewers to, for your supplication. Secondly, I want to thank you very much for all the efforts that you're doing because I've been dedicated a lot because of your programs. And thank you very much.
Abu Abdullah, where are you from?
Well, I'm Egyptian 100%. I was born and raised as Egyptian, but I lived in America for a long time.
طيب, ya Abu Abdullah, I ask Allah the Great to increase your iman and to keep you steadfast on His straight path. But also besides a dua, Abu Abdullah, there are many other means. Like if you're currently living in Egypt, do not miss any prayer in Jama'ah in the masjid. Make an effort, particularly Fajr and Isha. I know that they're the hardest, and it's kind of cold now. Go to a masjid where you enjoy the recitation of the Imam and attend the Jama'ah in the masjid. Pray the nawafil before and after. Then call me later, and you will see a tremendous increase in your iman, inshallah. Jazakallahu khair. Assalamu alaikum. طيب, please try again, brother. I'm sorry that he was waiting for some time. No problem. Try again, please. Yahya Hank. Brother Yahya says, is there a hunting season in Islam? And when is it forbidden to hunt? Was there a rule for hunting and fishing in the time of the Khilafah? No, there is no hunting season, but there is a restriction concerning certain times in certain places. For instance, it is mentioned in Surah Al-Ma'idah, in ayah number 95, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لا تقتلوا الصيد وأنتم حرم ومن قتله منكم متعمدا فجزاء مثل ما قتل من النعم يحكم به ذوى عدل منكم هديا بالغ الكعبة. The ayah number 95 of Surah Al-Ma'idah. So whenever the person is in ihram, whether it's he or she, they are not allowed to hunt any animal, any bird, even for the purpose of eating. Okay? So once you intend your ihram, even if you made an ihram from Washington DC, you're not allowed to hunt anywhere because you are already in a state of ihram. And also it is not permissible to hunt in two places, the sanctuary of Mecca, all of Mecca, and the sanctuary of Al-Madinah. And that's why you may have seen this beautiful picture of one of the servants, the workers in the haram, was feeding the pigeons, and the pigeon felt very comfy and safe around him, and giving the bird the water, because there they feel very safe. You sometimes see a person praying and it is landing on top of his or her head. Safety and security. But also I would like to add to that, whatever rules and regulations that is imposed by the state in order to maintain the race or the species, must be respected. Like there are seasons, you're allowed only for $1 or $2, based on the regulations of the animal rights organizations, which regulate what to be fished and what not to be fished, also with regards to fishing. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Fatima from Gambia. Naam, assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir.
Naam.
Oh, hello?
Yes, assalamu alaikum, Sister
I
Fatima.
want to ask you a question.
Naam. No problem. Try again, Sister Fatima. Back to the hunting and fishing. This is a hobby that me and my family are in love with. And some of our friends used to have huge ranches with rivers and lakes. So we used to hunt and go hunting. Imagine in your own property, you have to get a permit, hunting permit. And with a hunting permit, there are instructions how many deers you can hunt per season. These regulations we have to respect. Why? Because this is to maintain the species and the race or the kind of animals. Imagine if everybody go out and everybody have guns and they hunt for the sake of hunting. Then they finish all the deers. This is very dangerous. In most of our countries that they sell fish in the market, baby fish, millions of them. I think personally this is really outlaw, and it should be treated outlaw. When we go fishing in Western countries, that there are instructions, and there at the pier there are measures that after you fish you measure if it is bass, if it is red snapper, if it is catfish. There are measurements for each one, the length, how many inches. Why? And different seasons have different measurements. Why? In order to maintain again the same amount of fish and to maintain the baby fish to grow and to be able to produce more fish and so on. We see in our countries, unfortunately, people simply go to the river and they put 2 poles of electricity, they shock tens of thousands of fish and they pick them up and they take them to the market. This is haram. Definitely this is haram. So the state, when it regulates the hunting and the fishing procedures and it has certain rules and regulations, it must be respected because the Sharia respects that. Barakallahu fikum. Mustafa Abdi Bronji. Mustafa says in his question, is it compulsory for a Muslim to pay tax while he's paying zakah? Ya Habibi, if you were to ask me, is it compulsory to pay zakah while paying tax, I would answer the part which is concerning me. The Sharia point of view, you have to pay tax. The Sharia point of view that you have to pay zakah. Whether you're paying tax or you're not paying taxes, sometimes people actually are tax exempt because they don't have enough according to the tax rules and regulations, that they do not make enough. They do not get paid, paycheck, so this is out of the record. They don't pay taxes. Do they have to pay zakah? Yeah, if you have the nisab, every year you have to pay the zakah. About the taxes issue, this is not my job. But if you ask about the zakah, yes, you have to pay zakah. Is it permissible for the state, we're talking now about a Muslim state, a Muslim governor, an Islamic condition, to impose taxes on Muslims in times of needs? In times of needs, when the zakah is not enough. But as you all know that, there is a state of distrust, because when people see that their leaders piling up wealth and they're asking them for zakah, and they're asking them for taxes and taxes and taxes. You buy bread, you pay taxes. You buy food, you pay taxes. You pay taxes on your earning and on your spending. They question that. Okay, but it is permissible if the taxes are reasonable and if it is needed and to be spent in its resources which are collected for. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. Brother Anas Omar, Anas says, I work at a fast food restaurant and I do deliver the food to houses. I just found out that they sell pork on the same menu. Do I need to leave, and is it haram or halal? What is haram is to deliver or to cook or to sell anything which is prohibited. What is the proof? The Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, إِنَّ اللَّهَ إِذَا حَرَّمَ شَيْئًا حَرَّمَ ثَمَنَهُ. Once Allah prohibits anything, then its price is also prohibited. A pizza delivery guy, he's delivering pizza. It is made of flour, made of water, vegetables, and cheese, but also there is pepperoni, something haram in it. One of its ingredients, I'm not allowed to sell it. Nor am I allowed to carry it or deliver it to one who's going to eat it. إِنَّ اللَّهَ إِذَا حَرَّمَ شَيْئًا حَرَّمَ ثَمَنَهُ. And the sin will be in proportion with the prohibition. Yani if the whole job deals with like somebody who's selling alcohol, then from A to Z 100% is haram. But a restaurant is selling halal food and haram food, then the earning is mixed. And I urge you to look for a halal job as soon as possible. If we have time, I will be more than happy to share with you hundreds of stories of those who willingly, even though they were desperately in need, gave up the haram for the sake of Allah, quit the haram job, and they put their trust in Allah. They still got up early morning, went door to door, shop to shop, looking for a halal job, asked people to hire them. So they did not have an alternative when they left. No. Once they knew that this is haram, this is it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to admit any haram to my mouth, to my stomach. I'm not going to close or feed my kids from haram. And they started looking for halal. Those people, they come back and they say, if I was still doing the same job, perhaps I will be doing the same job for years as a stock boy, a delivery guy, But alhamdulillah, ever since I left this job, some say, yes, I was tested for a couple months, for a few months, for a year, but Allah opened wide for me the doors of provision from means which I could never imagine. That is promised in the Quran. In Surah Al-Talaq, Allah the Almighty says, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Whoever keeps his duty to Allah, yani he fears Allah, he stops at the limitations. Haram, haram. He does not go further. He does not say, what can I do? We live in a different time and a different place. And Allah has to provide for me first from halal so that I can stop the haram. No. Yattaqillah. He knows the haram, so he stops at it. يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Immediately Allah will provide for him an opening, a way out of his hardship, of his difficulty. And what people fear most is وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. And will provide for him from means which he could never, ever imagine. We just need to put our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We just need to put our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'm always happy whenever any of the viewers who have experiences like that, they email me or they share their stories on my page so that I can share it with the viewers. We need to encourage more and more people to abandon the haram. Because, we believe that after this life, there will be an eternal life. And you will be held accountable. And in the hadith, النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم said, لا تزول قدم عبد يوم القيامة حتى يسأل عن أربع. There are 4 questions. No one on the day of judgment will be dismissed from the reckoning position without having to answer the 4 questions. One of the 4 questions is وَعَنْ مَالِهِ. He will be asked about his wealth, the reckoning of his wealth. And this question has 2 branches. مِنْ أَيْنَ اكْتَسَبَهُ وَفِيمَ أَنْفَقَهُ. How did he earn it and how did you spend it? It's a very tough question. We have to prepare an answer to this question for every penny we earn and for every penny we spend. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to what is best. Muhammad Ali says, is salah valid behind an imam who has corrupt aqidah and does tawassul? What about the Friday prayer if there is no other imam close by? Brothers, this is a question which I cannot just simply say, yeah, because who decides whether his aqidah is corrupt or not? Who can decide that? You? Any person? That would undergo the person's whims and personal, frictions. So if any person have a problem with this imam or he did not support him in a case that he was judging, his aqidah is corrupt. When you say that he does tawassul, what does it mean that he does tawassul? You have to be very specific, because the ayah of Surah Al-Ma'idah says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وابتغوا إليه الوسيلة وجاهدوا في سبيله لعلكم تفلحون. So al-wasila, there are some recommended, not just permissible, recommended tawassul, and there is a prohibited tawassul. So you have to be specific. Like say, this guy does this, and there are witnesses, and he does it in public, and he insists on that. This is a different case. Okay? But if your question is vague, he does tawassul, how do I know that he's doing haram or halal tawassul? Brothers and sisters, may Allah the Almighty guide all of us to what is best. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate